fucking Nightdale, and it took me about a couple minutes just to get here and shit.
Right.
Mm. I'm
Yeah.
literally just eating dinner right now, so
I ain't even eat yet.
yeah. Plus, I might watch Power before I go to sleep for work tonight to
Oh
see
yeah, I
if
gotta watch that.
yeah, because to see if it's the leaked episodes are actually accurate and shit.
Right. Facts.
Since everybody wants to spoil everything,
Right.
I might leave that. I might leave that Power group because it's like 30 minutes. Motherfuckers spoiling the whole fucking episode. Like, calm your ass down, nigga. Damn.
Right. Facts.
Like, I get it. I love the show, but come on, no, can't nobody watch it literally at midnight. Y'all didn't even watch the whole fucking episode 10 minutes
Facts.
in. Y'all just spoiling every fucking thing. Get the
Facts.
fuck out of here. That's why I like and I dislike spoilers. That's just my
Mm-hmm.
thing.
Facts. I agree.
Other than that, what time is it? I'm gonna start this in about 9 more minutes.
Right.
You know what's crazy? I love hip hop and I love whenever an album gets shelved and you have the access to listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, hip hop is always a thing. Every shelved hip hop album, people will always say, "Oh, this is flawless. Flawless." Which we're gonna talk more about that. We're gonna talk more about
Right.
that.
Right.
Both these albums, I love both these albums, but I have issues with both these albums.
Uh
You
oh.
know, yeah, because everybody's saying it's like fucking everybody is just like every time out like Eminem's Infinite is a perfect example. Eminem's Infinite.
That wasn't
I
great.
like yeah, it wasn't great. It had like a good songs, but he was trying to sound like AZ and Nas on that shit.
Right.
Like I love
AZ. I
Maxi.
didn't hear the AZ part though. I didn't hear the AZ part on there.
You didn't? Oh,
Nah. You think you sound like AZ on there? I didn't hear the AZ part.
it was a mixture of Nas and AZ on. If you like tracks like Infinite, I think 3 a.m. and shit. No, no, no. What's that song? Not Tonight. That's the song.
Right.
And then to top it off, man, it's just like people want to say, "Oh, that's album's a class." I'm like, no,
No,
it's
it
not.
ain't. No, it ain't.
Not.
Fuck no.
What else?
Into them is a classic now.
Jizza or Genius, Words from the Genius.
Mm-hmm.
Don't even get me started on that record.
People swear it's good.
Mm. I can understand why Tommy ain't his motherfucking boy after I heard that album.
People swear it's good.
But like I said before, we'll talk more about that when we talk about these albums. Cause you know me, I always talk my shit, but I
I
always
know you
back up
do.
my shit.
I know you do.
I always back up my shit.
Yes, you do.
I think BJ loves that podcast a lot now. You know what I'm saying?
Which one?
The Biggie podcast.
Oh, he's been watching it, the Angie Martinez one?
Yeah, he been on the group talking about yo this podcast. He is like every new fact he learns and shit like that.
Because
I'm just
he
like,
loves Biggie. Like there's people that love to talk about Pac and Biggie all the time. I'm over it because I grew up with those artists. It's you know what I'm saying. It's too many other artists that I want to discuss besides as usual people. But
yeah.
for people that love Biggie, they're gonna enjoy that series.
I want to know. I want to know what next season what she's going to talk about next season. I feel like it's going to be a West Coast album.
Hopefully, it's something that they don't talk about.
Right.
I really don't want to watch that again and they talking about Tupac All Eyes on Me or some shit. Like, been there, done that.
Yeah.
Let's get
Like
on with it. You know what I'm saying? Can you talk about somebody else?
give me hell. I don't mind Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style.
Been there, done that. Talk about somebody else. We know everything there is to know about Doggy Style. It's not needed.
True. Far Side's Bizarre Ride to the Far Side.
Yes, that's an album I would like to know about. What was it like
Right.
making that album?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. Something different.
I bet you it's gonna be a known one to watch.
Of course it is. Because to the casual fan, that's all they know is Biggie and Pac. It's crazy.
I'm still bent over Clark Kent saying Chronic is not a classic because RBX high powered. He did not like that. I'm just like you
Clark Kent
crazy.
is on drugs if he says shit like that.
How can you
And
not like high powered, nigga? What?
he don't represent for the whole New York City. I just want people to know that he don't speak for me, because I've been saying those were classics from day one. For him to say that, he definitely trolling or wanted some attention. Because if you feel like those are not classics, then you're not a hip hop head. I'm saying
Shit.
you don't know what the hell he's talking about.
In the words of Salim from Power, you're done. Okay. You know, I'm just gonna say this before we start. Rest in peace to Bill Lee, Spike Lee's father. You know what I'm saying? He was also a composer of some of the earliest Spike Lee movies and shit. And it's ironic because we're gonna talk about Jungle Fever next week. The irony.
Right?
So, and I want to say he did some music for that movie. I want to say, and of course, rest in peace to the icon, the pioneer, the legend, the trailblazer, the survivor, Tina Turner. Rest in peace to her. You know what I'm saying? What up,
Yeah.
Cavase? Yes, I mean Tina Turner. I mean,
Gervais was good.
I don't even have to go through a whole biography and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
man, it's like I was shocked, but I wasn't shocked. If that makes sense, you know? It's like we're losing all of our legends.
Yeah.
And if you,
And
in
we
case
don't
you
we
got
don't wait till they drop dead. We don't wait till they drop dead to talk about them either.
right, and in
You know what I'm
case you guys are
saying?
wondering,
I had to put that
right,
up.
I feel you. And in case you guys are wondering, yes, we did do a review on Private Dancer 2019. So
Five
I
years
do
ago.
5 years.
5 years ago.
Yes,
We didn't. We're not gonna. Now you're gonna see how many platforms now run and talk about Tina Turner shit.
right.
5 years ago we did that album review, so that's why I put that shit up on my story.
Yes, yes. And I do want to talk about some Ike and Tina albums. 'Cause I got two of their albums on me, but I don't want to do it right at this because that's one thing about me. I don't like doing like quick artist review because they died and shit like that. I don't like doing that shit. Cause he said you need it in that Spike Lee talk. Okay, I'll
Yeah.
let you know.
Exactly. My favorite director. I met him. Great
Same.
person. Love his movies. You know, he's a Hall of Famer.
Yes. This movie though, we're gonna talk about it because I got a lot of shit to say about this movie. But the soundtrack though, we're gonna talk about the soundtrack as well.
Right.
'Cause that soundtrack, oh my god.
Soundtrack is crazy.
This is a fun day. I'm like I'm like Stevie. Stevie. Come on, man. Mm. Forgive me, y'all. I'm eating some dinner right now, so I'm trying not to eat with my mouth full. Because some YouTubers be eating some fucking cereal and I'm like, I'm like, oh my god, cover your fucking mouth, man. I see all the fucking Cheerios coming out your fucking mouth. Like, don't you just hate like that nigga Carcino and should be eating every fucking time he doing a fucking video? I'm like, nigga, what the fuck is wrong with this nigga, yo?
Right.
Nigga eat like it's his last supper and some shit.
His last meal and shit.
Lord have mercy. Why am I so extra today? Why? Trigger the Gambler.
Yeah.
I always love their names. Trigger the Gambler, Smooth the Hustler. I don't know. I just
Mhm.
so
Ghost of
fucking New
W.
York.
Mhm.
Trying to find the album cover so I can share this shit. And if you guys have any other shelved reviews, shelved hip hop albums that you want us to talk about, make sure y'all, you know the deal, throw in that donation and shit. You know how we do it. In the words of Kendrick Lamar, this dick ain't free. Pause. Let me stop. Q said that is disgusting when people eat live. Man, you don't even know the half of it, boy. You don't know the fucking half of it. I've seen niggas had the whole breakfast, lunch, and dinner in live stream. I just can't watch that shit because that shit was just disgusting. And then and it's bad enough because they breathe so fucking hard like. And I'm like, what the? Hmm. I'm so messy today. I don't even know. I'm so messy. I'm ready to start whenever you are.
All right.
Let me start before I get sued or some shit. What's up, YouTube? How's everyone doing? This is your boy Reg in the building, and yes, we're coming to you live. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave this layout. We coming to you live from EV Mux. You know what I'm saying? Former YouTube criminal. You know what I'm saying? Artist, podcaster. As Try would call me, the hardest working man on YouTube. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And speaking of Try himself, I got my homeboy Try in the building with me. You
What's good?
know, he did a dope live stream earlier. They were talking about hip hop action figures or whatever and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, okay,
We're showing off our gems. That's what it was.
yeah.
Different stuff.
I wish I, I wish I still had my action figures, but man, I asked him to give some of that shit away. Then my
Okay.
mama threw away my Pokemon cards and
Well,
shit
you
too.
can
So
always join us and show off, your stuff on vinyl because we show vinyls, and stuff like that. So
okay, just let me know when I'll see what happened with my work schedule. And I got you.
it's usually like Tuesday nights on Instagram. We go live like maybe 9, 10 o'clock. But I mean, we did it today. We did it tonight on Thursday, but we usually go live on Tuesday nights.
Okay. Hmm.
You know.
All right, I'll let you know. If not
Yeah.
this week, then possibly next week, cause
All right.
we're short staffed today, and everybody looks at me like I'm Michael Clark Duncan from the Green Mountain that hotel anyway. So yeah. So today we're going to talk about, like the title mentioned, this is going to be the Shelved Hip Hop Albums edition, and we're going to talk about some two New York albums. The first one we're going to talk about is Trigger the Gambler with the 50/50 album. That was supposed to have came out on Def Jam Records in 1996, and then right after that we're going to talk about Cuban Links with the 24K album. Yes, I promised y'all I was going to talk about that. That was supposed to come out in 2000. I want to say on Terror Squad under
Yeah.
Loud, but I'm a double check on. You said
Terror Squad Atlantic. I think it was Terror Squad Atlantic Records.
oh Atlantic. That does not surprise
Yeah,
me any
because
bit.
Fat
Okay.
Joe had his own deal with them. Like they paid him like $10 million for the label. So
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah, Atlantic Records and hip hop does not mix. That's all I'm gonna say.
right.
Ask Lupe. But yeah,
Facts.
Trigger the Gambler. If you guys don't know, he is the younger brother of Smooth the Hustler. You know what I'm saying? Um, when it comes to this album, I know there was a few singles on this record. Give me Bus was a single. I know
Yeah,
that was a
there's a video
single.
for that for Bus.
Yeah. Um, he did have this one song on the Nutty Professor soundtrack on My Crew. Can't go
Hmm.
out and can't go for that.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So yeah. All right. So I'm actually very excited to talk about Trigger the Gambler, Smooth the Hustler.
right.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like very underrated New York hip hop that got kind of under the radar. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, so you know how we always do it. Before we talk our shit, we gotta talk about how we got into the artist.
Well, I started with Smooth with his brother, with Smooth the Hustler. You know, when Broken Language came out, and that shit was like heat. Like they played that every day. You know, radio, the video. Once the video came out, that was on every video outlet. You know, they from Brooklyn. They from Brownsville, and went to school in that neighborhood. And you had Dr. Period, underrated hip hop producer that was just giving them heat at that time. And Broken Language, like if you look at like Styles and Jada or Red and Meth, they were like that type of combo together, and
Right.
it helped because they were brothers and they just fed off of each other like with any collaboration that they did. And I think and the beat was hard. I just felt like that's why it was something different that we didn't hear before. This is before the locks and Red and Meth. They wasn't they already had the How High joint, but they didn't have the Blackout album yet. And Smooth and Trigger, they were just dope lyrically. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole pass the mic type of style that they had together, and the production. And then they had like DV alias Christ. He was like
Yes.
he could rap and he could like harmonize too.
Oh
You know
my
what I'm
god.
saying? But huh?
I was agree with you.
But I mean, we didn't look at him. We didn't look at him like he was like a Drake or nothing. Like he just was like he was a street nigga, but he could rap and he just happened to harmonize on like choruses. And I remember when they were at up at Stretch and Barbito. You know what I'm saying? Like when Smooth was up there and he was promoting his album, and that came out, and that was it should have done better than it did. But they wasn't really the mainstream. They wasn't mainstream. You know what I'm saying? A lot of artists were on main or like major labels, but they didn't know how to promote them. They wasn't mainstream. So it's like if you wasn't coming out with like a radio friendly joint, they wasn't even trying to promote your album. You know what I'm saying? And I remember when they came up on there, and they had Alias Crop when DV was dropping his he was supposed to come out with his album, and Trigger, and um they were just dope, man. Like they've done like a collabs, and I remember like the freestyles they were doing. Um, my crew can't go for that. That was from the Nutty Professor soundtrack, and when that soundtrack dropped, it was like that was a huge hit for both Trigger and Smooth. And went to see the movie. They played that on radio back then, and they heavily promoted that soundtrack because had like the lead off single from that soundtrack, and that was like a major thing for them. And I remember seeing the video for Bust on Rap City when Trigger came out, and for whatever reason the album never dropped, and I always wondered why. You know what I'm saying? Like they were promoting the album. You know what I'm saying? And something happened where they just dropped them, and we didn't hear the album. You know what I'm saying? And this is before the internet, so I didn't hear the album till like the 2000s. You know what I'm saying? And I had Napster. You know what I'm saying? I had Napster in like 99, 2000. I didn't even find the shit on Napster. I found the Cuban Link album. We'll get into that. I found that on Napster, but Trey the
Shit.
Gamble album, whenever I didn't find it on Napster. So I didn't hear this album till like 2000s on it was not even YouTube. We didn't even have YouTube then. It was real rap net or some one of them old rap websites that carry down like you can download the album. And I found it off of like one of those websites, and heard the album, and I'm like, yo, this shit should have sold. This shit should have been promoted. You know what I'm saying? And it was just a shame that Def Jam, for legendary label that they've been, they dropped the ball with a lot of artists. You know, Trigger the Gambler. I want to say DV was signed to them also, because his album never came out.
Yeah,
Um, Core Mega dropped the ball with, was it his first album, Dead Man Walking or whatever.
but
Um,
they were in a rush. They were in a rush to drop Justin Bieber's album, right? Okay, all right.
it's a different Def Jam now compared to the '90s. It's not the same.
I don't, I
You
don't
know
give
what
a
I'm
fuck.
saying? It's not the same. Like you look at their roster now, their roster is garbage compared to they had Def Jam back in the '90s was like the New York Yankees. Like every hitter in that lineup in the Yankees were like it was like murderers row. When you look at Def Jam in the '90s, and they had Foxy and they had Redman and Method Man, they had J.O. Felony, Warren G, Nice and Smooth. Everybody on that label was fire.
Flatliners.
Flatliners, you know what I'm saying? And even with them, they didn't promote their album because the video was controversial or whatever. But they dropped the ball on a lot of artists. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, Trigger the Gambler is in that group. You know what I'm saying? And I remember hearing the album back in the day. I'm like, yo, why did this not come out? Why wasn't this promoted? You know what I'm saying? And this is at a time when, like, yo, I was on those Def Jam street teams for Murder Inc. and for Rockefeller and for Dipset. You know what I'm saying? For Def Soul. And if this had came out, I would have definitely promoted this album because I liked Smooth the Hustler and Trigger the Gambler and DV and they were making some great music and they didn't get promoted. You know what I'm saying? At least Trigger didn't get promoted. You know what I'm saying? And I always wonder why. I still don't know why they dropped him from the label and he didn't the album never came out. But you know, this album definitely was could have been a great album and they were just dope. You know what I'm saying? Like and they had so many connections within the industry. I saw a freestyle last night that they did on Rappers Out of Control with Scram Jones. And that freestyle it was like 8 years ago, and they still sound as fresh as they do today, like like they did back in 94, 95. You know what I'm saying? And it's just a shame, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy. And I immediately when I saw them, I felt like yo, like they should have been signed to Rockefeller because they had connections with Big, they had connections with Jay. I think Rockefeller would have been a great label for them. Fuck the Memphis Bleak. He could have been dropped or, you know, um, a mill. That was a waste of time. But Smooth the Hustler and Trigger the Gambler, they should have been on Rockefeller. And, it's just a shame that they never came out with anything else after what happened. I still don't know why they don't drop new music. But for that time, in the mid 90s, they were dropping some heat. You know what I'm saying? And you know, when you look at artists now, like Griselda remind me a lot of them. Like if I had to
Yes.
pick a label now for them to sign to, it would be Griselda. Cause they remind me so much of Smooth and Trigger. You know what I'm saying? You know, this is the hip hop that we don't hear no more. You know what I'm saying? When it was all about lyrics and bars and not even about, you know, buildings, hit records and shit. They didn't care about that. You know what I'm saying? That they were just about beats and rhymes and you know it's a era that will always miss. But you know I've never talked about this album. I never talked about the Smooth Hustle album, so it's like the first time I'm actually talking about this album. So that was my introduction. Then they got I forgot to mention they got and I didn't even notice till last night. You remember SWV? They did well of course the group they did the song You're the One. They did a remix. Now they got more than one remix. This is like the actual CD single I have with all the remixes
Yeah.
on it, and one of the remixes on here is the All Star remix. All Star was a producer back in the '90s. He did a lot of stuff with different artists, and he had a remix on here with Trigger the Gambler, Smooth the Hustler, Jay Z, Busta Rhymes, and Mr. Cheeks.
Oh wow.
And I forgot it was on the CD single because there's more than one. There's another Mr. Cheeks remix that Puffy did, the Bad Boy remix that Mr. Cheeks is on. There's another remix with Busta Rhymes. But I've never heard nobody talk about the remix that they were on for SWV. They don't even SWV don't even acknowledge that remix. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll play the regular mix and then that's it. They don't even play the remixes from for the song. But they definitely should have been bigger than they was. You know what I'm saying? And it's a shame. Like I hate to see um talent like this that go under the radar, but we still talking about fucking Biggie and Tupac when they've been dead and gone for like how many years now? These are the artists that need to be getting they recognition as far as I'm concerned. You know, so that's how I got into Trigger Gambling, Smooth and DV.
That's what's up. Um, Honestly, I'm just gonna combine how I got into Trigger and Smooth together because it's pretty much the same time.
Right.
Long story short, Broken Language, one of the greatest hip hop songs of all time. Just gonna be 100% honest with you on that part. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to wordplay back and forth, you know what I'm saying? That is a fucking underground anthem. I don't give a flying fuck what niggas say. You know what I'm saying? So,
It is.
and I was, and like I said, we're gonna get more into that when we talk about Once Upon a Time in America, the album, not the movie. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like it was just like the chemistry between both brothers was what really like set them apart. You know what I'm saying? Like they were rugged, they were raw, but it had like a soulfulness to it, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when it came to DV's production and his vocals. You know what I'm saying too. But yeah, man, I definitely feel like Trigger the Gambler definitely got the raw end of the deal. We're going to talk about why he got sacked by Def Jam because there's a couple of theories around and shit like that too. But like I usually do, I'm gonna let y'all be the judge of that. All right. So when it comes to fucking Trigger the Gambler, he's an MC. I want to say he was from Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? He is a younger brother of Smooth the Hustler. Smooth the Hustler at that time, he had a deal. He had a deal with Profile Records, and in 1996, he dropped his album Once Upon a Time in America. You know what I'm saying? Which that was hailed as like an underground classic, critically acclaimed. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. Just a flat on good ass album and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And he had a song called, like I mentioned, Broken Language with fucking his younger brother Trigger the Gambler, which that's like a lot of people's favorite song off the album. I'm gonna be real with you. I haven't heard the album in years, so that might be my favorite song. Might not be. That's why I'm gonna keep my mouth shut on that. Oh, when it comes to them, I always like to compare them a little bit to Cellar Dwellers too.
Oh yeah.
Another underrated underground
Yes.
group that don't get fucking talked about
Mm-hmm.
by the hip hop heads.
I agree.
You know, Nick
I agree.
Wiz's production on that fucking album,
Mm-hmm.
that Rims album. Oh my,
Realms in
damn,
reality.
Rims of Reality. Thank you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
For
I
sure.
had a chance on getting the album,
Why
but
you
it was
didn't get
so
it?
fucking man. It was on Amazon.
It's it's
It,
expensive.
it
I know.
it jumps up and down in prices and shit like that, like a fucking
Yeah.
prostitute on Saturday night.
It is.
So yeah, so I just pretty much I think I got something else other than that. You know what I'm saying?
I
I
was a
didn't get no
huge fan again because like they lyrics they were like on some other shit. They was talking about like mystical shit and their metaphors were just
right.
different, but they had like the production by Nick Wiz, and you hear joints like Goodfellas and Perfect Match, and the joint they did with Master Ace. They were killing it. I love Cellar Dwellers. That's another group that don't get talked about enough.
I agree. That could be also on the list too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
man. But at that time, in the late '90s, mid to late '90s, who was the number one label in New York and shit? I don't
Def
like who
Jam.
was everybody looking at in New York? Bad
Def
Boy.
Jam. But I mean, I think Loud had the best artists.
I agree.
because it wasn't just they didn't just have artists from here. They had artists from the South. They had artists from West Coast, and each one of them took off and became stars in their own right. 3 6 Mafia, you know what I'm saying? Exhibit,
Mhm.
Pun, Rest in Peace, Mob Deep, Wu Tang. Like that's a great label. You know what I'm saying? Steve Rifkin was a genius.
Yes, definitely. And I definitely feel like I got loud over Bad Boy any day. So
Oh yeah,
just saying, you know what I'm saying. I love Biggie. I love Craig Mack. But when if you want to come to the hip hop, the hardcore hip hop side of things, you know what I'm saying. It was just Biggie and Mac because Mace, he didn't really blow up to like the can't when he would appeared on that 112 Only You
hmm
remix, and then
the
of course
remix.
he
Yeah,
was Can't Nobody Hold Me Down from Puffy and shit too.
they
And you
had a
know
run. The Bad
they
Boy
had a
had a
run.
run, but I felt like once Biggie died, it was like it was gonna be dark days for that label. And
Yes,
Puffy had to carry that label on his own. You know what I'm saying? And you know he get his props for that because other labels would have folded. I just don't feel like they were the same after Biggie died and then Craig Mack left, and that's when the problem started. The Locks wanted out. You
right.
know,
Yeah, man. But so like I mentioned before, like this album was supposed to have came out in '96, but there are a couple of things why this album did not come out. One of the theories that came up on the internet was because Def Jam passed on Trigger the Gambler for Jay Z and shit too. You know what I'm saying?
I
Because
never heard that. Never heard
yeah,
that.
I'm not saying it's true. This is just a theory because Reasonable Doubt had came out the same year as Once Upon a Time in America, and I was reading this interview from Smooth the Hustler. You know what I'm saying? And he was pretty much just talking about how that album came out, and pretty much like both albums had like very similar when they talk about growth, struggle, and I quote, "It was both growth, struggle, pain, all of that in one." You know what I'm saying? And of course, Jay Z, Rockefeller left Priority in '96 because Reasonable Doubt wasn't given the numbers at that time. Because you got to
Right.
remember, Reasonable Doubt, yes, it's a hip hop classic now. It's a hip hop classic now, but people forget that
It
was
wasn't
Jay's low.
selling.
It's Jay's lowest selling album.
Right. It
It,
wasn't
it
selling.
yeah, it was more popular in New York than in fucking worldwide and shit like that. Yeah, you got Ain't No Nigga, you got songs like that, but he didn't really blow up till Volume 2 and
Right.
shit
He
too.
wasn't a. Well, I told people he wasn't a household name until Hard Knock Life Anthem came out. That's
Right.
when you started seeing him on the Today Show and shit. They didn't know who he was when he was dropping, reasonable, Dead Presidents or Ain't No
Yeah.
Nigga. Like we knew who he was, but white
We
America didn't know who he was until the Hard Knock Life Anthem came out.
exactly.
That's his third album. So he became who he is now off his third album.
Exactly.
Some artists they might get big off of their first album or their second one. It took him his third album to get where he's at now.
Exactly. And it's crazy too because it's just like that's my favorite J album. Don't get me wrong, but that album didn't really get classic status until when Triple XL did that 10th anniversary column on it. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Y'all remember that triple double XL?
Right,
That's a triple X. What am I doing?
right.
That double XL cover, that double XL issue and shit like that too. You know what I'm
It
saying?
was
So
good. It was, but he like that's why I say is like a lot of albums that came out back then. Nobody was saying it was classic until now. Like There's a Dark
right,
Side, like Reasonable Doubt, because we didn't think like that back then. We didn't have that in our vocabulary. Like, oh, this is a classic album. I wasn't saying that shit back in when I was 14, 15 years old. That wasn't a thing.
exactly,
It's like if the album was good and I was playing it every day, it was one of my favorites. But I didn't never did I say, oh, Ready to Die is a classic. We wasn't thinking like that. You know what I'm
definitely,
saying?
yeah,
It's like when if you like at the water cooler at your job or you in school and people talking about the album and you know it's something that's dope. but nobody cared to be like, yo, this is such a classic album. We didn't care about all that. As long
Exactly.
as the album was good to us, that's all that mattered. If I'm playing the album continuously for years, then it became one of my favorites. So it became in my, I had my own heavy rotation. You know what I'm saying? I didn't care about what the source had in their heavy rotation. It's about what I had in my heavy rotation in my 5 disc CD changer every day. If it was Ready to Die or Illmatic, it was one of my favorites. I didn't care about it being a classic. There's a lot of albums that weren't considered classic that's still better than the shit that's called classic. You know what I
Yeah, you're
mean?
right about that. But yeah, that's just how it goes and shit too. So, and another theory from what I looked up was the fact that Def Jam was not impressed with Trigger the Gambler that much. You know what I'm saying? Which again, we'll talk more about that
That doesn't
when
make
we talk about
sense.
the review
They
because
they they made his song the first single to highlight Nutty Professor. So I don't understand how they feel like they didn't trust him to sell numbers. Is that what it was?
they just wasn't impressed with his performance.
That's
And
crazy.
when the album, before the album got released, can we talk when we talked about Pudgy the Fat Bastard King of New
Shout
York
out to Pudgy.
album.
Yeah,
Yes,
that was
when
great.
we talked, hmm when we talked about that album, the Source reviewed the album before it actually came out, and I think the Source gave like 2 mics or some shit like that too, because
Wow.
they were pretty much saying it was like a rip off of Ready to Die in a weird
Now
way.
I don't see
When
it.
it came, then when it came to like Life's a 50-50 Gamble, I'm looking at the Source reviews and they gave it 3 mics and shit too. You know what I'm saying? And you know, like back at that time, the Source magazine was like the hip hop Bible before Benzino raped it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
And yeah, so the album got shelved, and also too, they were just going through some personal issues. I read somewhere that Smooth the Hustle's baby mama was going through some shit too.
Wow.
Like, yeah, if I find some of them articles, I'm gonna post it on the community tab and shit too. But yeah, but this is the album cover right here. It definitely has that mafioso kind of feel to it. You know what I'm saying? It pretty much is like a mafioso album, which again, Reasonable Doubt was a mafioso album too. So it's interesting. 96, like that mafioso rap era, I love it. I don't give a fuck what no one
Hmm.
says.
Yeah.
If niggas can want to be a drill artist, niggas going to be a trapper, and they have the nerve to talk shit about mafioso rap, talking about why all these New York rappers trying to rap like Gotti, be young Gotti and shit. You know what I'm saying? But hey, okay. Anyway, it's just hip hop bias, but you know how that shit goes. All right. So this album got 15 tracks, and we're gonna start it off with the intro, which is pretty much just setting the whole tone of the album, setting the whole tone of the album and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? Just him saying, hey, this is us. About to do our thing. I love the strings that they were using on that shit too. So yeah, pretty dope
I
intro.
didn't
Nice way to
I
kick.
didn't hear the intro because of course YouTube is incomplete when it comes to these albums. So the intro and there's a skit on here, right?
Yeah.
That's the only two songs that I couldn't find. Like they had all the other songs, and you know what I'm saying, I couldn't find the intro. So I don't know what the intro sounded like or the skit. It's
Okay.
been years since I've heard it, so I don't remember how they sound.
Yeah. I wish you would have told me earlier because they got the full album on YouTube and shit too.
Yeah,
But
but it seemed like people that are uploading some of these albums, are they taking off the songs on purpose or what?
sometimes YouTube likes to do that copyright bullshit.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
because the
So
Cuban Link one, I have to go to Cuban Link's YouTube channel for the full album for 24K because the other people that was posting it was incomplete. It's like 25 with 24 songs, but half of the shit is like gone on a lot of them.
yeah, yeah. Next time that shit happen, just let me know, and I got you
Yeah.
handled and shit.
This is what's gonna happen when a lot of these shelved albums, if it's on YouTube, some of the time you're gonna find the incomplete track listing.
Yeah, Yeah, in the future, just let me know because you know me.
Yeah.
I search long and hard for some albums and shit too. So,
Okay.
mm, excuse me. All right, track number two. Track number two, Hitman. That's the next track on the album. Not pretty dope song right here too. You know what I'm saying? It's also known as Hitman for Hire. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I love this record. Oh, by the way, DV produced like the majority of the album and shit too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, pretty dope record. Oh, give me one second. Hold on. Hold on. You can go say what you say about the album, those songs
Yeah,
and
you
shit.
got DV on the chorus, and it was a dope record. I love the beat and the bass line for it. You had Trigga saying, the first one to set it, the first real thug that's holding the hammer to wet clicks, the best at it. And I loved his flow. Like his flow, when you hear broken language, that's the flow that he used a lot on a lot of his songs, and it was just dope. You know what I'm saying? And DR period. His production was great for them, and yeah, this was a banger.
Yes, yes. I made a slight mistake. It's actually DR period,
DR period, yeah.
DR period, and Low Mid that did the production on the album. My apologies on that. I fucked up anyway. Track number three, My Crew. This is a song that was on the Nutty Professor soundtrack. Very dope soundtrack. The movie pretty solid. That's all I'm
Hmm.
gonna say. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather watch that than the sequel, even though the sequel had Janet Jackson's fine ass and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? So, um, the song has an interpolation of Hall and Oates. I can't go for that. No can do. Spoiler
Right.
alert. That's my favorite song from them.
Love it.
This is pretty much his most mainstream hit, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. You know what I'm saying? So, um, love this one right here. Just him bigging up his brother. Speaking of his brother, it features Smooth and DV. You
Hmm.
know, so I fuck with it.
Yeah, this was great. Like it was just like surprising to find out that this was gonna be like the first single from the soundtrack, and you watch the video. They have like clips from the movie in it, and I loved it. It was definitely a banger, one of my favorites from the soundtrack as well, and I love the Hall and Note sample. That's
Right.
always been one of my favorite records from that duo too, and you had
Yes.
DV on the chorus, and Smooth is on it as well. I felt like if all three of them had come out with an album, it would have been phenomenal because they worked a
They
lot
were
together.
supposed
They
they were
worked a
supposed to
lot.
come out with an album.
Oh, they were supposed to come out, all three of them.
Yeah, it was
I
called something
didn't.
like Bros for Life in '98, but
Oh, I didn't know that.
they didn't finish that. That got shelved as well.
It's crazy. The record industry just took advantage of them. You know what I'm saying? And they did a lot of stuff together. I'm like, why not? They should have just came out with a full album together. And it's definitely like if you had a full album with all three of them, and they got songs like this, it would have been a classic album. And this was definitely a classic record for me. And it was
I
dope.
agree. I definitely agree with you. All right, track number four, Broken Language Part Two. Now, this song kind of sparked a little controversy because if you listen to the first couple of lines from Smooth, he said, and I quote, "Here come the overdoers. Peace to Shane and Kane. We ain't got beef, so don't ask. We just give props to old school." Now, when they did the first Broken Language, they had a line that says, "The Big Daddy Kane, Little Daddy Shane overdoers," and a lot of people thought that they were throwing shots at Big Daddy Kane and Little Daddy Shane. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And pretty much they had to like clear the air. Damn, hold on. Excuse me. I'm sorry about that. They had to clear the air talking about they were just bigging them up. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
they actually went over to Kane's house and just cleared the air about that shit too. So it was like a situation. It wasn't a beef, but just wanted to clear that out there and shit too. Cause I didn't even know about that fucking shit. You know what I'm saying? But as for part two of Broken Language, this was solid. I don't like it as much as the first Broken Language. I'll be the first to say that. But I felt like they still did their thing. the beat to this one, I still like the beat to it, so I fuck with it.
I think it was just as good as the first one. The beat sounds similar to the first one too. I don't know if they designed it that way. Maybe could have been a little bit different, but it was definitely fire, man. Like the chemistry with the brothers was just phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? Smooth the Hustler, loved his flow. He said, so whatever shoe size, get your shoe tied. Cruise ride, fricassee burn like tubes tied. And my crew lies on the outskirts to do guys. Me getting felonies, got jealousy running through guys. Loved his flow, Trigger the Gambler's flow. Like that's what made the first one such a classic because their wordplay and their delivery, it was just different. You know what I'm saying? And then they carried it into the other songs on their albums and people started to hear it and be like, oh, well, this is how they rhyme all the time. It wasn't just for a broken language, and they gave us more of that on the sequel, and I thought the sequel was just as good.
Respect, respect indeed. Alrighty, track number 5, Nickel Plated 9. Um, another pretty cool song right here too. You know, boom bap. You can't be a boom bap track without that dirty piano and them
Right.
strings and shit. You know what I'm saying? Kind of Mob Deep esque, if you
Mm-hmm.
ask me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which I kind of feel like they were kind of influenced by them as well too.
Right.
You know, I'm not gonna lie. When it came to like 95, 97 to 97,
Mm-hmm.
there was two New York producers motherfuckers were influenced by
Oh yeah.
RZA and Havoc.
Oh yeah.
Everybody want to do beats like them.
For
You know
sure.
what I'm saying? So, and if y'all think I'm crazy, then y'all don't know what y'all talking about and shit. But hey, cause they didn't want to make beats like the Hitman until Life After
Right.
Death blew up.
Right.
Then after that, then they never want to make beats like Swiss Beats and
Yeah.
shit like that too.
Yeah.
And then New York wanted to be like the South after a while, but that's another
Mm-hmm.
story for a different
Yeah.
day.
For
But
sure.
yeah,
I loved it. It was real. Yeah, like real creepy piano chords. It reminded me of like Hell on Earth, Havoc. The beat was fire. I love the chorus. The only thing I love is my nickel plated nine. The only thing I sport on my arm is my shine. Niggas wanna act better, recognize mine. Niggas wanna get dumb, it's body bag time. Uh, Trigger just killed it. This was definitely one of my favorite tracks on this album. And it's almost like like he did like a song, like a ode to his gun. Like we've seen that before. Lloyd Banks did that.
yeah.
Not Lloyd Banks. G Unit did that with my buddy, the my buddy
Ice
joined.
Ice Ice Cube.
Yeah, Ice Cube, right. So it was like they did like one of them old songs to their guns. So that it was like he was talking about different type of guns he have in his arsenal. So I thought it was great.
I agree. But in my opinion, Pharaoh Monch did it the best with Straight Bullet. I don't give a fuck.
Right, right, right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Pharaoh the Nas.
Nas, right.
hmm Speaking of Nas, I saw some. I'm gonna go off topic. I saw something blasphemous.
I know
Niggas
you're
was
talking.
saying, you know what?
I know what you got. You talking about the post?
It was a post that said, "Why do people think Nas is great when he has like bad beats, lack of commercial?"
Oh God, they still with that? I thought you was
I'm
talking about the post that from yesterday where somebody posted best sophomore album, the infamous or it was written. Who had the best sophomore album between him and
I,
Mobb
know,
Deep?
I didn't see that. I didn't see
Oh, you
that
didn't see
shit.
that? I thought I put that in the group chat.
You probably did. I was just all over the place
Yeah, I was like,
last
come
night.
on, man. They both classics. I didn't. If anything, if I had to choose, I'm going with Mob because Illmatic was already a classic by the time it was written came out. Mob Deep
Right.
first album, Juvenile Hell, wasn't a classic. So Infamous was their first classic album. So I got to go with Mob Deep.
Exactly.
But I don't like comparing classic albums against each other. They both classics,
Shit. They won't do that to no Drake album.
right? Was Drake sophomore classic?
Hell, wait. His sophomore was Take
Take
Care.
care. That's supposed to be like his best one by a lot of his fans.
It's his best one, but I don't know if I'll call it. I don't know if I'll
I
call
don't think it's
anything
a
else
landslide though. I still feel like nothing was the same was dope and thank
trash.
me later. You didn't like nothing was the same.
Thank, Thank Me Later, underrated.
Mm.
Nothing Was the Same was trash.
You didn't like that one.
Hell no.
That
Hell
I
no.
like it. They made too much of the whole Wu Tang thing, and they were supposed to be
Cause it was,
doing the remix, and they didn't do it. And like
thank
they,
God.
I don't even think that would have sounded right. Wu Tang and Drake, you know, it wasn't needed.
Well, Raekwon did a song with Justin Bieber, so
Exactly, and but that didn't make the album though. That
thank
didn't
God.
make the Kanye West album.
Thank God for that.
You know,
Yeah, man. Like, and even Inspector Deck didn't like that Wu Tang shit. He was like, don't use a Wu Tang
yeah,
name for
they
that.
didn't.
Love
They,
rap.
I believe it's recorded. It just never came out though. They did the remix
Yeah,
with Drake. It never came out,
the whole
supposedly.
album should have been shelved. I'm just. To me, Drake's best shit was that fucking If you're reading this, it's too late, and
That was
take
good.
care,
That was good.
thank me later. Those are his best shit. Everything
That
else
was good.
trash. I didn't care for
Yeah,
views. I didn't
I
care for
don't
Nothing
think
Was
he's
the Same.
making. I don't think he's making his best shit no more like he was.
He never made the best shit. Yeah, they
Well, his
the
best music everybody kind of enjoyed.
Pusha T wiped the floor with his ass, and he's still sad about that shit. But that's everyone's best
You
rapper
can't
alive,
battle
right?
nobody if you got a ghostwriter. Yo. If you got a
Thank
ghostwriter,
you.
you can't battle artists like Pusha T. So
That's what
you know what I'm
Eve
saying?
that's what Eve said about Foxy and shit.
Even if that rumor comes out about you, if you have a rumor that you have a ghostwriter, you can't battle nobody like Pusha T. You
Hmm.
know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
man. Yeah, that's all I gotta say on that shit.
Yeah.
Where the fuck we at?
It's track 6.
Nothing Can Stop Me. Oh boy. All right. This is a commercial sounding song, sampling Maze featuring Frankie Beverly. Before I Let Go. You know what I'm saying? Verbatim, in my opinion, but uh, they didn't fit. I saw Heavy D more on this song, believe it or not. It had a Heavy D vibe.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They had whacker commercial songs later on in his album, which we going to talk about that. But
Right.
lyric wise,
Uh,
it did its job. But that beat, I didn't see them on that beat. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Yeah, this was the radio friendly song that they if the album actually came out, they probably would have promoted for as a single. And I
Right.
want to say that was Case that was singing on the chorus. It sounded
That
like
was that
Case.
was case.
That
Yes.
was Case. Okay. For
Hmm.
it don't say featuring Case, but I've listened to enough Case to know that that was him singing. And at that time he was on Def Jam 2. He had, came out with his first album at that time, so he was like a still new artist. And yeah, that was their radio single. But again, I don't they wasn't they was I don't feel like they were into making mainstream songs though. You know what I'm
They
saying? Like it worked with the Hall and Notes joint because everybody knew that Hall and Notes song. But even with that, that was still like it was still like a rugged joint. But because you had DV singing on it, it made its way to radio. It blew up. But I don't feel like they were the type to really worried about mainstream like that. Like that wasn't any sound. But Def Jam being that it's Def Jam, they're gonna want something for the radio, and I feel like some of these songs were for radio.
hell, they could have gave this beat to LL.
They could have gave it to LL, yeah, because Mr. Smith, he was in his Mr. Smith bag at that time, and
Hell yeah.
they could have gave it to Heavy D, like you said. They could have gave it to Little Sean. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh.
Like it was a lot of artists they could have gave it to. Fall MC, you
Now,
know.
now you're going. Now you're going too far.
Fall MC did. That's all he did was mainstream joints. They could definitely Fall MC could have been on this track.
Yeah, but I'm talking about good rappers and shit. I'm not talking about a Disney version of Big Daddy Kane.
Oh man.
I'm just talking hella shit tonight, yo. Ooh, okay. But yeah, hell, even the name's Father MC, big, simple as fuck. Big Daddy Kane. Come on, man.
Well,
King's Asiatic, nobody's equal. That's dominance right there, nigga.
you don't have a Long Live Kane album. You don't have a It's
He
a
don't
Big Daddy thing type
he
album.
don't even have a taste of chocolate, nigga.
No, you don't. I liked him, but he was dope. But he's not. I don't feel like he was ever on Kane's level like that.
Nah.
You know.
The words of Whitney, I have nothing. 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 Oh Lord have mercy. Okay. Alright, so track number 7, 50/50 Gamble. One of my favorite songs off this album. You know, with this song right here, it's just talking about how one can have good and bad intentions, especially when you're living that street life and shit too. You know what I'm saying? Of course, Smooth the Hustler was on this fucking track as well too. Sometimes when these guys are both on the same track, they're one of those few duos that just neck to neck. I
Right.
can't pick who's my favorite one because their styles are so fucking similar and shit too. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The only duo I could think that's close to that was Ray and Ghost.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree. It was definitely dope. A really dark track. It had like a real eerie melody to it. You had Smooth the Hustler on the chorus, and the beat was fire. The pianos on it, the bass line. I like it.
definitely. Yeah, it's one of my favorites, man. Next track is the fucking skit. You know what I'm saying? Which, I mean, this was an alright skit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It just leads into the next song. I
Hmm.
know you say you didn't hear the skit,
Yeah,
right?
I didn't hear the skit. I couldn't find it on YouTube.
Okay, ain't nothing wrong with that. You really ain't missing much with some of your shit, you know.
Right.
All right, there we have "Welcome to the World." Very very cool song. You know what I'm saying? Just some of that rugged fucking shit. Yeah, I like it.
That was dope. Definitely had a banging ass beat to it. The bass line was hitting.
Definitely. All right, now my favorite song, not just on this album, but from Trigger. Period. Bust. Raise your guns up and bust. Come on now. A
Dun,
little bit
dun,
louder
dun, dun,
now.
dun, dun,
A
dun,
little bit
dun, dun,
louder now. Oh, like
dun, dun.
if you guys know me, you guys know how much I fucking love that record.
Mhm.
Bust featuring Smooth and DV. Fucking classic record. The video,
Oh.
the beat, unpopular opinion,
Mhm.
they did this sample better than Kane.
Oh wow.
And again, I mentioned in Big Daddy Kane, I love Another Victory. That's
Mhm.
ironically that's my favorite Kane song and shit like that too. So it's something about that sample. It's something about that sample though.
Right.
Such a simple head nodding sample.
Mhm.
Mm, excuse me. But yeah, man. You know what? It's funny too because I was reading somewhere that people thought, I don't know if it's true, but people thought that they were taking shots at MOP
Really.
with this. Yeah, because
Mm.
they had like a little. People thought that they had beef with one another because I think they said some shit on broken language, but I think it was either Smooth or Trigger that said again.
Right.
Uh, it was just a boro kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? You know
Right.
what I'm saying? It was just like friendly competition. That's the right word for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. I felt like I know I said in a last couple songs that they're neck to neck, but Smooth the Hustler kind of came a bit stronger with this on that last verse. I'm the head honcho, the slugger, the Brownsville mugger, undercover to undercover, undercover to uncover the FBI brother. Fuck the maybe, I'm rather unique like AZ. When niggas think stereotypical, they say me lately. Like that flow, that
Yeah.
it's like a more that flow is like a more calmer, cool G rap kind of flow. You know what I'm saying? That
Right.
multi-syllabic kind of bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And Trigger, of course, he did his thing. I love the line when he says, "Niggas like Styles get took. I'm the reinforcer, question God, double crosser, bodyguard, Kevin Costner, Night Stalker." You know what I'm saying? All my
Right.
movie heads, y'all should know about that shit.
Mhm.
And of course, DV with that smooth ass fucking voice, thinking he Nate Dogg and some shit like that. But with your
Buzz.
guns up and bust, come
Buzz.
on. Roll with
Mhm.
hustling, so smooth operators on some Dom Perignon shit, smacking your bitch. You don't know how to.
Mhm.
I'm gonna just go on, man. But
Yeah.
that's a fucking Def Jam. Why did y'all promote this fucking shit?
I don't
Come
get it.
on, man. Get off Justin Bieber's ass, man. Come on. Come on, man.
I
I can
like
go
how
on
I
and
like how
on.
you could just like throw Justin Bieber name in a Trigger the Gambler album discussion.
Hey. Who else is on Def Jam that's getting as much love as Bieber at this moment? Let's talk. Let's talk about
Yeah, I
that.
don't know. I don't know who's on that label anymore. I totally it's different now. It's a totally different label now. They got like Afro beat artists and shit on there.
Oh, don't even get me started on Afro. I can't stand that shit, man.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm African. I only listen to Burna Boy. That's because I'm related to his
Burna
ass and
Boy is
shit. You know?
dope. I like Wizkid and Thames, but you know what I mean? That label is different now. It's like back then you see the fall of Def Jam, like it's crazy. You know, this
Right.
this was dope. I forgot they brought this out. Like I saw the video last night. I'm like, I forgot this shit came out. You know what I'm saying? And but
Yeah.
it wasn't as big as my crew can't go for that or in broken language because like they played the video once in the blue in Rap City. I used to see it, but they didn't play this on the radio though. So it
Nah.
was like when it came out, I was like, is this really gonna be like a nut? Like, is this gonna get people to buy the album? You know what I'm saying? But it was dope. I thought it was a dope joint and you had DV Alias on the chorus and it was definitely a solid joint.
Definitely solid. Man, I was about to go in on that. I was about to scrap the whole fucking song and shit.
Right? Yeah, man.
Oh. Hmm. All right, next song. And this is when the album kind of takes a slight downward turn. Rugged. Oh my fucking god. Can you feel it? No, that's not the song. That's not the song, but
That's the next one.
that's the next one. But
Yeah,
this one was one of the more commercial songs
yeah,
and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? I didn't like this one. I didn't like this one.
yeah. Again, they was going for that radio play, and that wasn't them. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I didn't think it was good.
Definitely, I agree with you. Next song is "Can You Feel It?" You know what I'm saying? Can you feel it? Can you feel it? I heard that sample so many fucking times
Yes,
too.
the sample was used before.
So many fucking times.
All MC used it. I believe the
Oh
Lost
my,
Boys used it.
oh my god.
We're
Of
back on
course,
Fall MC.
of
Fall
course.
MC.
You know, for a hip hop review, we mentioned a lot of non hip hop artists tonight. Oh Lord, have mercy on my soul. But yeah, this is very good. You know what? I might just throw in a Cheers reference while I'm at it.
Uh-oh. Cheers reference. How did that happen?
Oh shit! But you know what? I'm not gonna hold you. I prefer this song over the previous song,
Yeah.
but it's still not one of my favorites and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying?
And the thing is, it's a club joint, but they're like rhyming like some street shit all over it.
Of course, because fucking they were trying to do the Biggie formula and shit. That
Right. You know what I'm saying?
hell, AZ Sugar Hill.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Smooth beat, but he's rhyming some street shit on it, drug talk on it though.
Right.
You
Mm.
know. I enjoyed it. They were clearly going for radio play. Now, when you hear this beat sound like it could have been on the Lost Boys Legal Drug Money. Yeah,
I
they would have
agree.
killed it. They would have killed it. You know what I'm
I
saying?
agree.
I kept hearing Mr. Cheeks over this. Well, maybe they should have had a feature from him. But like, it's one of those like club bangers. It's a smooth joint, but they're talking street shit on it. Smooth is saying, when crews need to regroup their alliance around the way, a lot of Jake the Snakes want to be Andre the Giant. I see through that. So when I shoot at your crew at point blank range, so don't come asking why I do that. Love this flow. And Trigger killed it. Was this going to be another radio joint for them off of this album?
You never know.
You know what I'm saying? Because so many people have sampled this, you know, and I felt like this was gonna be like a radio single for them.
Hey, like I said, you never know. Sometimes it's the least expected song that becomes a
Right,
successful single.
right,
You know what I'm saying? Ghetto Boys, my mom playing tricks on me.
yeah, facts.
Right. All right. Now we're gonna get into fucking Met Maker featuring Keith Murray. You know what I'm saying? This one was pretty decent. You know what I'm saying? It was pretty
Mhm.
solid. Keith Murray. You know what I'm saying? Definitely did his thing on this song right here. So, it's alright.
It was okay. I felt like I've heard better from Keith Murray.
Yeah.
I don't feel like his verse was great. Um, Considering like when you hear like I Shot You, I thought he was better on that. You know,
I'm here to make $1 at a
yeah,
50.
I thought he was better. That's the way he started that. I thought he was way better on that song compared to this. Trigger said, 21 ways like Jump Street, I run deep. SMG, walk the walk, talk the talk, I let my gun speak. I liked Trigger. I thought Trigger was better than Keith on this, and it should have been a way better collab. But I just felt like Keith Murray's verse wasn't all that.
Yeah. I agree 100% with you. You know what I'm saying? Track number 14, Scandalous. Again, good but not great song in my
Right,
opinion. You know what I'm saying? I just felt I just felt like with this one, I don't know. I just felt like it needed a better beat.
right.
Not saying the beat was bad, but eh, it could have been better.
The beat was cool. You had DV Alias on the chorus. It was okay. It wasn't like a standout song for me.
Agreed. And the last track, Make a Move. Next to Bust, this is actually my second favorite song off this album. You know what I'm
Really?
saying? Yes.
This is your favorite song after Bus?
After Bust,
Wow.
yes.
Okay.
Oh, don't tell me you don't like this song.
I'm not gonna say that. It was okay. I don't feel like it was one of the best songs on the album though.
Uh, respect. Different strokes, different folks. Shit. But yeah, I like the beat and of course the flow was what really did the song for me. So it's a good for me though.
I don't know if they should have ended the album with this song though.
I
You know
agree.
what I'm saying? It should have been something else. I don't know. I don't know what song I will put as the last song on here, but I don't think it was this one. I think this should have been like higher up on the track listing. Um, it was okay. It wasn't a standout for me though.
Yeah, I definitely feel you about that shit. You know what I'm saying? Um, Overall, this is this is a pretty solid album. You know what I'm saying? Besides the three ish kind of songs,
Hmm.
I feel like this album was pretty solid. You know what I'm saying? I definitely feel like Def Jam dropped the ball with this one, but I'm not surprised because and it's crazy because I remember when Def Jam used to always do this. Oh, coming soon.
Right.
They ever have like 4 albums, but
Yeah.
only one of those albums would get motherfucking
Only
released
one
and
came
shit.
out, or the album title would be different.
I'm like, if I see this shit one more time, Def Jam, don't. But yeah, um, I definitely feel like if you like I said some good old fashioned mafioso rap, you're gonna get it with this one. But this one that he is not as conceptual as like a lot of mafioso albums, like Reasonable Doubt. It was written. Hell, I would even throw in Do or
Right.
Die shit too. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely feel like this album should be listened to, especially if you love what's the album? Once Upon a Time in America from Smooth and shit too.
Right.
So I'm gonna give this a fucking 4 out of 5.
I think it was solid. It needed more promotion, and you had radio friendly singles. I don't know how that would have went over with their fan base at that time. But you had some joints. My crew can go for that, and Nickel played it nine. Broken Language 2. Can you not even can you feel it? Met Your Maker. Bus. They had some joints on it. So I'm gonna give it 3.5. I think it was definitely had some joints, and it should have been released. It should have been definitely could have been a one of those memorable albums. Unfortunately, it was shelved, but I think it was solid.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you about that. Now, next album.
Oh boy,
Yeah.
oh boy,
Gotta
man.
give a shout out. Gotta give a shout out to my essays right here and shit like that. Cuban Links, 24K. Try his camera froze up a little bit. This is another shelved hip hop album that was supposed to have came out in 2000. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me. I'm sorry about that, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Cuban Links. You guys should know he was a fucking member of the Terror Squad. We recently talked about the Terror Squad album about 2 weeks ago and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? Give me one sec because my laptop's about to die. So let me just plug up this motherfucker up right quick. But yeah, man. This has been like one of the most infamous shelved albums in hip hop, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? Because the album had an infamous way, right?
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
yeah, I hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you hear me? Yo, yeah, yo, yo.
Hey, yo,
I
can you
hear
hear
you.
me?
Yeah, Sam said he hears me. You don't hear me? Yo,
You said what?
you hear me?
Hold on, hold on.
Yo,
Sorry about that. My
I
stupid
hear,
laptop
I hear you.
charger.
It's all good.
Sorry about my stupid laptop charger wants to play games and shit.
Okay.
Yeah. So like I was saying, this is like one of the more infamous final albums and shelved albums, if you ask me. Um, singles. You know what I'm saying? I might need your help with it. What was the singles from this album? Let me be real.
Flowers for the Dead
Flowers.
and
Okay,
still telling lies.
got you. And why me? Right?
Uh, I don't know. I don't. Other than those two songs, I don't know what else was being released.
They said why me was a single as well
Why
too.
me? Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Guest appearances. It had a hella guest. Everybody in New York was on this album and shit. Angie Martinez,
Oh
Sunkiss,
God.
Tony Sunshine.
You got the whole Puerto
Tony.
Rico in here. You know what I'm saying? All he was missing was Celia Cruz,
All he was missing was Ricky Martin and shit.
right? He got right.
He was he
Living La Vida Loca. Where was he?
probably messing with some little kids. Excuse me.
Oh
Ooh,
man. There you
ooh.
go.
Let me stop that. Let me stop right there. Y'all know them stories and shit. But
Oh
Pink,
Lord.
aka L.A. Reid's Pink.
Jesus
Big
Christ. Pink. And he had the audacity to say that song was fire. I'm like, what?
Wait,
Cuban,
you
what
said
was you
what?
smoking in your Cuban cigar? He felt like that song was good. We're gonna get to that, but yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
I was like, no, it
Um,
was
big pun. Noriega. This is around his reggaeton era. Coogee rap.
Oh Lord. Yo.
MOP. Lord Tariq. Ja Rule. Remy Ma. Low Key.
Jesus Christ.
Carl Thomas. Marsha. Greg. Peter. Jan.
Mm.
Let
He
me.
had everybody on here. This album just sounds like 2000, yo. I swear.
You know what's crazy though? How you have
Mm.
a Fat Joe diss track, but you have Fat Joe on your album?
On the album, that's what I don't understand. I'm like, they were beefing at this time, and I'm like, how the hell is Fat Joe on the album?
Oh shit!
But he did say that he was recording this while he was recording the first Terror Squad album, so maybe that has something to do with it.
Right? Yeah, that makes
You
sense.
know what I'm saying? I'm like, I don't understand that at all.
Oh my gosh! Oh, this is gonna be a funny review, man. I can't. This is gonna be a funny ass review. Yeah. For those who don't know who, well, y'all should know who Cuban. I'm not even gonna get to his biography because we already recently did the fucking Terror
Terror
Squad the
Squad.
album review and
Mm-hmm.
shit too. You know what I'm saying? So after the release of the album, it was supposed to have been Cuban Links that was supposed to be next to come up to drop a solo album, right? He had got a deal with Atlantic Records, and that was a joint deal with Terror Squad. But then all of a sudden, Big Pun tragically passed away. February 7th, 2000. God bless the dead. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
to add salt to the wound, you know what I'm saying? Um, him and Fat Joe, who they never really got along. I'm just gonna keep it a buck and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? They were having like a lot of contract issues, which kind of prevented this album from coming out. You know what I'm saying? And there was also an incident that happened back in '01. You know what I'm saying? When there was a fight between Fat Joe and Sunkiss, and Cuban Links was trying to break it up, but his face got slashed and shit like that, trying to break up the
Yep.
fight. That was one of the main
That was
reasons
at
why
Angie Martinez party.
her album release party. Yeah,
Oh, that's what it was. Oh
yeah.
Lord, I would have slashed myself because that album was bad. Oh
Shit.
God.
How low
And
can
the
I
thing is,
go?
when that happened, it was Remy that went to the hospital with him because Remy Martin was already in Terror Squad at that time, and Fat
Hmm.
Joe didn't like that. He felt like she was being unloyal to him when she went with because he didn't go. Of course, he didn't. None of the other people went with Cuban Link to the hospital. She went to the hospital with him.
Interesting. I never knew that.
That
Wow.
that's the rumor that's how they beef really started with her and Fat Joe because she went to the hospital with Cuban and he didn't like that.
What is wrong with Fat Joe?
I have no idea. I think
So,
he was ego driven. Ego was what broke up the Toe Squad, the original Toe Squad.
so you were in a rush to release all your whack ass albums with Cool and Dre, but you
Right.
can't even.
Exactly. You was in a rush to release all that me myself and I and all that other bullshit, the all or nothing, and not release Cuban Link or Triple Seis. You didn't promote Remy's album. You know what I'm saying? You was quick to get rid of Lord Finesse and Diamond D for whack ass Cool and Dre. That gave him some of his worst shit ever. But you know what I'm saying? It's like I don't understand dudes, yo. They like he had
Right.
a $10 million. He got a $10 million deal with Atlantic Records for the label to release Cuban Link and all these other members, and Cuban Link talked about on his channel that he believed that Fat Joe leaked the album because it wasn't Atlantic Records. He
Oh, I
he was
believe it.
butting heads with Fat Joe over. supposedly he felt like Fat Joe heard the album and he didn't like what he was hearing, and that's when him and Fat Joe were beefing over the album, and he felt like Fat Joe is the one that leaked the album to the internet.
Yeah, but he was in a rush to do that whack ass No
Right.
Limit movie, Thicker Than Water with Mac 10.
Exactly. Exactly. You was in a rush to try to be like a Ja Rule, which you could never be, mainstream wise.
This ain't no
But you didn't
Fred
want to release
Flintstone.
your own Terror Squad members. You have a record deal. A record label paid you $10 million for your own record label to release your own artist, and you was bullshitting with your own artist to release your own whack ass shit. I don't get it. You could that's ego drip right there. That's ego. He was ego driven.
It,
You know what I'm saying?
it's
That was ego driven.
it's like once Pun died, Fat Joe didn't want nothing to do with them cats.
Exactly. It's like he waited till Pun died to like switch up on these niggas and be like, oh well, I don't want you in Trouble Squad. You go. Triple Six is a bum. I don't want you, Fuck Tony Sunshine. Now he's cool with Tony Sunshine again. You know
And
what I'm
have
saying?
him on
And
one of
on
your
top of
fucking
that,
albums.
Cuban Link did a live stream last night on his channel. He's beefing with the Terror Squad members now.
What is going on with that fucking Terror Squad and
No
shit?
lie, he did a live stream last night on his channel. I watched it. He's beefing with the Terror Squad members because he's saying that the Terror Squad members that was once cool with him, they turned his back on him because of Fat Joe. Like Fat Joe's paying them off.
Yo, you notice how Fat Joe's Latino ass is always in the middle of all this drama, right?
Right. Yeah.
You see how the Universe Alliance. You see,
Yeah.
it was meant for us to talk about this album.
Yeah, it clearly was. I'm like, this all happened like all at once. He's on his live stream, and he's like saying how like the Terror Squad members turned their back on him, and Fat Joe's paying them off. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? They still beefing after 20 something years, and Big Pun is dead and gone.
Bro,
You know what I'm saying? Like if like Pun would have never like if like the Pun is watching all this shit go down, and he's like he's disappointed in him with all this shit that's going on. They still beefing after all these years. I'm like, yo, Pun is dead and gone, and y'all still beefing. Y'all could have already came together and did another Terror Squad album.
exactly.
It's
I didn't
crazy.
even hear that Chain Reaction album that came out in '05 and shit. I heard it was kind of whack though.
That had a lot of Swiss Beats production on it,
Oh god.
and yo he got a $2 million deal. I think it's the only independent deal in history that where it was $2 million.
Jesus.
He got paid to do that to come up with that album for $2 million on an independent label.
$2 million
Yeah, he got $2 million for that deal.
just to do that Chain Reaction album?
Yeah,
Wow.
and Swiss Beats did some songs on it.
Wow. Are you sure
Yeah.
those weren't beats for Mashonda or whatever her name was and
I
shit?
don't know. I mean, Swiss Beats did some joints on there though, right? I don't know, like, cause I felt like Swiss Beats. Well, this was still Swizz in his prime though, but um, yeah, he got 2 million for that deal. But yeah, that's all ego, Drake. Like the fact that they still beefing after all these years, and now he's beefing with the Telstra members. It's like, yo, like what are you all doing? Like
Why,
Pun is like rolling in his grave at the shit that's going on right now.
why not just beef with your own mama at this point? You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? First it was
Well,
him and Fat Joe. Now it's him and the Tell Squad members. So
Jesus Christ.
I don't get it.
Oh man. Well, this is the album cover right here. All gold and shit, you know. Um
That's
actually I
not the
think the album
original album cover though.
it's not.
Nah,
Oh. What's the original album cover?
the original album cover it was more than one. I seen, I saw the bootleg back in the day. I was buying. They had the bootleg at this. So I went to this sneaker shop in it was the year that the Two Towers came out. It was that like '02, '03.
Yeah.
And I was going to see the Two Towers, the Lord of the Rings sequel, and I had bought this was like after Christmas, and I bought some Tims, but the store I had bought the Tims from, in the front of the store they had like mixtapes, and they had the 24 karat bootleg, and I never bought it, but I remember seeing it there. But the album cover was different though. It was like a black background, and I think he had like a do rag on. But 2002,
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
now
it
I know
was
what you're talking
2002. I went to see the Two Towers, and it was snowing that night because it was like it was already dark after Christmas. It might have been like 5 or 6 in the afternoon. I remember going to we went to the store before the movie theater, and I saw where they had like all the mixtapes, and I saw the 24K. But I was already thinking that 24K is about to drop, so I don't need to buy the bootleg. It never came out because him and Fat Joe was beefing, and he's accusing Fat Joe of leaking the album to the internet because it wasn't. He don't feel like it was Atlantic Records or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I never bought the bootleg, and it's still to this day. It's like the album is sought after, but that they had a different album cover. But on his channel, this album cover is on his YouTube channel. So he has the album on his YouTube channel with this album cover.
Yep, yep. I know which one you're talking about now. Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. Alrighty. Yeah, cause I gotta hurry. I gotta get some sleep for work very soon. So this album has 20. Well, the version I listened to had like 28 songs plus,
28.
but yeah, cause it had two freestyles at the end. But I'm
The
looking at
one I heard was 24. Well, the version on his channel is 24 tracks.
okay. So did the version have the "It's Okay" song?
Nah. Is anybody on that one?
Figaro, whatever. Figaro.
Who? Who?
I don't. I don't know. I don't know.
Figaro?
But Figaro, Figaro. It
I don't,
sounds Hispanic.
no, I
It
never
sounds
heard that
Hispanic.
song. Yeah, I didn't. I never heard that one.
Okay, well we'll just talk about it because
Okay.
that's what I heard on YouTube and shit. But
Okay.
so the first track is the Arrival. Yeah, this intro is kind of whack if you ask me. It's like they have like this fucking shark kind of like da 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 da,
Yeah.
but then it's like
The
oh no,
Jaws theme song. Yeah, the
yeah,
Jaws theme
yeah.
song.
I didn't
Hmm.
like the intro. It was kind of whack to me.
This reminded me of he took a page out of Scarface. This is when Tony and Manolo fled Cuba to go to Miami. That's what that was. And he threw in the Jaws theme song because they saw sharks in the water, and you had the U.S. Coast Guard after them. This is the same thing out of Scarface.
That's why it's kind of whack because everybody want to be like Scarface and shit. Like,
Right. Well, he technically he is Scarface now. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't back then, but you know, it was him and his boy sailing from Cuba to America, and that's a real thing that's going on right now. We have people crossing the border into the U.S. You know what I'm saying? So
legally and illegally.
yeah,
Whew, okay. Alrighty. I'm just gonna be real with you. All the skits on this album was whack. I'm gonna be real.
yeah, I didn't like the skits on the album.
So I might just
I
glide
didn't like
into
some of
the
the
skit.
songs either, but that's
We'll talk about that.
yeah.
We'll talk about we'll talk about that. Track number 2, 90 miles and swimming. Huh? Fat Joe's workout plan.
Yeah.
This one, this one was a nice song. You know what I'm saying? It was a pretty cool song. I feel like it started off the album kind of right, so I like
Yeah.
it.
I didn't like this. This was whack. Did not like the beat. I don't think he should have started off the song with this. No.
Shit, hilarious. I'm loving this review so far. I'm loving this. Alrighty. Oh boy. GQ skit next.
I didn't like this either.
Nah,
That
nah.
was whack.
I can't even find who produced this album. To be real with you, like,
You gotta like predetermine who produced it.
like, not even Discogs is helping me out right now. And Discogs
Jesus Christ.
be my secret weapon when it comes to production
It's a
credits and
mystery
shit.
album.
Shit, it's like an Eric B and Rakim album. You don't know who produced what.
Yeah.
Oh wait, okay. I found production. Okay,
Okay.
I found production for some artists for some songs. All right. Track number 4, For My Real Niggas. This was actually a pretty cool song. everybody had to have that song, real niggas this, real niggas that. So he's talking about his main people that he has beef with now. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm,
yeah.
no, I didn't like it.
Oh
Whack.
wow.
This was whack to me.
It's a no for
It,
me though.
I think it does get better though, but first couple songs I didn't like.
Oh wow, you feel like it does get well. I
Yeah,
feel
I
like that was all over.
think
It's,
at
it's,
times.
it's, it's all over the place, man. Like,
It's all over the
like
place.
it's like fucking fucking a version. Sometimes she does good in some parts, and sometimes she
Right,
don't do good in some
right.
parts. You know.
It's like getting a pinata. You never know what you can get in it.
Right.
You know.
You know. It's all right. So right now we are at fucking Project Party featuring Sunkiss. I love the beat to this song. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? I feel like the beat was pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know who produced the beat though, but
Right. Yeah. This was dope. I enjoyed this one. This was a dope track. Like the beat.
definitely. Track number 6, Freak Out, featuring Angie Martinez. Believe it or not, minus Angie Martinez. It's actually one of my
Right.
favorite songs on the
That
album.
keyword minus. She should have been off of this damn song. She
Huh?
can't rap. I don't know why Jay Z felt like I don't know. Maybe Jay Z was messing with her. Because if you can
Oh
look at Andy
shit.
Martinez and be like, yo, I think you could rap, baby, get a record deal. Yeah, something's wrong with you.
Woo.
Because I don't think she could rap.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Nice beat, but it would have been better without her on it.
Got you. Okay, so I just got notification from EV Mux that this live streaming would automatically end in 30 minutes due to plan limits. That's fine, because that's all the time I need for this. That's
Yeah,
fine, baby.
it ain't gonna be a long review.
It's not.
You know what I mean?
And thank you, because StreamYard would just end my shit
Right.
sometimes too. Like, it wouldn't even announce motherfuckers.
They giving us a time limit on here and shit.
Yeah, that's professional. we
Wow.
we professional up in this bitch. So
It's crazy.
yeah. So just key of reference.
Yeah.
If it's like a certain review we doing, it's gonna be
Right.
2 hours here. But
Okay.
if you're just gonna do like a regular live stream, we're just gonna StreamYard it. That okay.
Right.
So StreamYard is still useful for something.
It's something.
But yeah. But yeah, this is actually one of my favorite songs, and it's kind of weird I'm saying favorite song with
This is
Andy
one of your
Martinez.
favorites. Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
This out
Mine
of
is
everything on this 24 track album is one of your favorites.
keyword one of. I didn't say
Wow.
it was my definite favorite. I said one of.
That should have been
One of.
scrapped from the album if it was up to me. You know what I'm saying?
Woo!
Yeah,
Alrighty.
man.
Shit. You like this song?
Freak Out.
Yeah.
I like the beat. I don't like Angie on it. Great journalist. I don't think she could rhyme though.
She's still fine as hell though. Shit.
She's gotten better now. She lost weight. She look good now.
Oh yeah. No. Track number 7, Telling Lies, featuring Sony Sunshine. Now it said that the Neptunes did this beat.
Yes. This was a
No,
single.
no surprise. I don't like the beat. So.
This is like, as you would say, cafeteria era Neptunes.
Yeah.
Um,
James Pharrell, James Brown, cafeteria beats and shit.
right. This one I heard on Napster. When I had Napster, they had this song. This was like one of the lead tracks, and then we end up doing a video for it. So I liked it. I thought it should have been a big hit, and it wasn't because the album never came out. But this was a dope joint to me.
Yeah, yeah, minus the beat. It's a pretty
He
good
he
song.
basically talking about like a woman that was after his money, and he's saying like, now that the cat's out the bag, I'm looking back at the past, feeling bad. You never loved me. You was just after my cash. So
And
that's
that's another. Oh, I'm
Mhm.
sorry. I'm sorry.
No, no, go ahead.
Yeah, it was too many chick songs on this album.
That too.
Cheating on me, loving me,
Remember
song
when we
about my
did
mama.
the Terror Squad review, they were already grooming him to be like the pretty boy Puerto Rican out of the group.
Right.
That's why I feel like he had a lot of chick songs on here.
Jesus Christ. I love a good chick song, but nigga, you ain't LL Cool J.
Right.
Nah. What's the other rapper that made a lot of chick songs at that
Paul
time?
MC.
No, stop mentioning Father MC, nigga. Nelly.
Wait, he had a lot of chick songs too, Paul MC.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the good chick songs. Well, this was before Nelly came out with Dilemma
Right,
and shit like
right.
that
Before Nelly
too.
came out, right.
Yeah, give me Nelly over Father MC. That's all I gotta
Oh
say.
Lord, I'm not going that far now. Fuck no.
Hell yeah.
Nope.
Y'all need to stop
Nope.
shit on my boy
I
Nelly.
like Fall MC better. That's just me.
Respect. But Father MC never had an album like Country Grammar though. I mean,
I didn't hear it, so I can't say.
well, of
I
course
would hope not. We'd have I hope we would have a song
but,
album
but,
like that.
but, but we did a review on it, right?
Yeah,
we did a
but I just basically like skimmed over. I knew some of the songs, so they played it as fuck. They played it on
boy,
MTV all the time.
boy. When you see next week's schedule, that's all I'm gonna say.
Oh Lord. Oh, oh,
Oh my goodness. Oh Lord. Okay. All right, where we at right now? Track number 7, "Still Telling Lies," featuring Tony Sunshine. Wait, we just
we
talked
did that
about
one.
this.
Track
Yeah,
8.
"Spin in Spanish,"
I
trash.
didn't like it.
Track number 9, "Play How You Want," featuring Pink. Um, this was an okay song. This was back when L.A. Reid was trying to make Pink his
Oh
version
man.
of Tina Marie and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, I feel like Pink was kind of not needed for this track. I'm gonna be real with
Yeah,
you, but
for
hey,
real.
hey, it's music at the end of the day,
Yeah,
you know.
I didn't like it. This was whack. I didn't like R&B Pink. I love alternative rock Pink. She's way better. But Take Me
Hmm.
Home Pink, nah, this wasn't for me.
Nah, it's a no for me, dog.
That's a no.
Alrighty. Track number 10, 24 Karat. This one was pretty solid. I didn't really write no notes for this one and shit too. So,
I didn't like
oh,
it.
by the way, I forgot to mention. I
Uh,
didn't mean to cut you off. But one thing about the Neptune, it uses a BDP sample for telling lies and shit. You know,
oh, did
I
they?
love BDP. Yeah,
I didn't even notice.
but that's your favorite production
I
song,
didn't
right?
even. It don't sound like no BDP shit that they sampled. So
Yeah. I
wow.
forgot which song at the moment because my mind's on, but
Right.
still.
Yeah. This was whack. I didn't like the title track. No.
Sing your ass out of here.
No.
Next.
Didn't like it. Nope.
Um, Track number 12, Toe to Toe featuring Big Pun. This time it uses a root sample.
Mm,
If y'all didn't recognize that sample, y'all know what I'm talking about. Big Pun, he did his thing on this one right here. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's Punisher. You know
right.
what I'm saying? One of the greatest rappers of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta give a shout out to BJ. BJ was like pun bit, Coogee rap style. I disagree heavily. He
Yeah.
was influenced. He was influenced and shit, you know.
Right.
But you know, you know, people
Yeah.
have different strokes, different folks. You know. I mean,
Right.
that might be the slogan of my channel: different strokes, different
Yeah.
folks.
You might have to do
Yeah, Slime and Family Stone were right about that shit. You
that.
know,
Mm-hmm.
fuck. Oh my goodness! All right, all
Yeah, this
right.
was this was one of the leaked tracks I heard. It was like, but I believe it's a freestyle though, cause they were rhyming over the Roots clones beat and the Mob Deep God Part 3 beat.
Yeah, it was a freestyle.
Yeah, this was one of the leaked tracks that I heard first.
Yeah,
So
man, because you know, this album pretty much wasn't finna. They had to just
right.
maneuver it the best way they could and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Yeah.
All right. Next song we got is Shiat, "Man of Business," featuring Coogee Rap, Lord Tariq. There was somebody else on this song too.
MOP was on it.
MOP, yes.
Yeah.
The whole New
Lord
York was
Tariq.
in. Yeah, I mentioned Lord Tariq. Yep.
Oh,
All right. This is actually one of my favorite songs off this album. Believe it or not. That's mostly for the guest appearances. Cause you know Coogee Rap. Anytime Coogee Rap's on the posse, cause he always steals the show.
yeah.
Imagine if it was Cuban Links, G Rap, and Pun. That would have been crazy.
You right?
That would have been fucking crazy.
Definitely.
But nah, we have to have songs with Pink and Angie Martinez and shit. But yeah, that's what I have
Yeah.
to say.
Definitely thought it was a hard track, dope collab. Everybody killed it on there. Definitely one of my favorites on this album.
Yeah, I highly agree with you about that. Alrighty. Next song we got is Murder Murder featuring Ja Rule. I kind of see this song just for another excuse for Ja Rule to say murder. You know what I'm saying? Um, believe it or not, despite what I think about Ja Rule, I do like this song. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I do feel like, but there was some controversy with this
Mm.
song, though. You know what I'm saying? Because people thought that this song was like trying to glorify violence, and the video was banned from BET and MTV. You know what I'm saying? And even Cuban
There's a
Links
video for
said
this?
that. Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm more surprised than you are. You know?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, but the song pretty much like was a favorite to a lot of people and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Ja Rule did his thing on this one. You know, this was still when he was
Yeah.
above quicksand. You know, this was Rule 336 Ja Rule
Right.
and shit too. So I fuck with it.
Yeah, this was dope. This was I would have this should have been a huge hit. Yeah, I like the beat and you got like vintage Ja Rule, still in his bag on this one. This is dope.
Definitely. Alrighty. Next song is Cuban Sandwich featuring Remy Ma and Low Key. None didn't care for this one.
Yeah, this was whack. I didn't like this. The beat was whack. Yeah.
Shit, I don't care. I don't care if it was a Cuban sandwich, tortilla, or burrito. It was not good for me. Boy, I would have pissed off the whole Latino community tonight. And shit. um, Track number 16, "Sheet on Her," another chick song, featuring Pun and Carl Thomas. This one was okay, but it needed Tony
Right.
Sunshine. Carl Thomas was
Yeah.
cool, but I don't know. I just feel like if it was Tony Sunshine would do that fucking Rico Suave kind of shit, man. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Yeah, but it's another chick song. You know what I'm saying? I'll take it for what it is. You know?
I thought it had a bad boy sound to it. That's why they got Carl Thomas on it.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
bad
it
boy,
should have been a single. I think it would have definitely been like a radio joint for Cuban. It was good.
definitely. Alrighty. Next song we got is Lil Link, "Trash."
Yeah, I didn't like that.
Um, Track number 8, "Hey Mama," featuring Tony Sunshine. This was like his "Dear Mama," if that makes sense. You know,
Hmm.
I can respect the song. I'm not gonna get mad at a Mama track, but I kind of feel like this should have ended off the album next to "Flowers for the Dead."
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
This was good. Pun had a unreleased track called Mama also that was done by the Alchemist, and that Tony Sunshine was on that one. That was on the Endangered Species Greatest Hits. So you had Pun did one for his mama. Cuban Link did one for his mama. I thought it was a heartfelt song, and you had Tony Sunshine again on this track, and he was basically talking about like how he how growing up and how he put his mother through hell, and he said never forget you, and pops bailed me out on the spot. As soon as I got home, my mom started landing the knots. That means you loved me a lot. I made you suffer a lot. Inside you're hurting, but outside you looking tough as a rock. So I thought this should have been a single also. I think it would have been good for him to drop this joint. It really should have probably ended off the album, you know. But yeah, I thought it missed opportunity, but I thought it was a good song.
definitely. Alrighty. "Dirty Old Man" skit, "Trash."
Didn't like it.
Track number 20, "Taste of Pastry," featuring Tony Sunshine and Triple C's. This is actually my favorite song off this album. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
Yeah, it's actually my favorite song.
Wow.
I love the Sade. I love the Sade sample that they used
Right.
for this one and
Yeah.
stuff
Sweet
too.
as taboo.
Yes.
They sample that.
Yeah. You know,
I
you
think I
can't fuck. Sade song.
I want to say that's the first time I ever heard a rap song sample that song.
You know what? You're right. You're
Yeah,
fucking right. It's not all the time people sample Sade. You know, I know
right.
MF Doom sample "Kiss of Life" for
Hmm.
Doomsday. Shit. Yeah, I can't really think of a lot of.
I can't
Oh,
think of another song that
Boogie
sample.
Down, Boogie Down Production sampled Sade's "Paradise" for 13 and Good.
Okay,
You know, which a lot of people try to forget that song, which I don't know why, because that song is dope. I don't give a
right,
fuck. He was good.
right.
Whenever I hear Karis once said, "Overlooked by my Playboy charm," I'm like, when the hell did Karis want to start saying Playboy charm and shit? But yeah, man, this was a pretty solid track.
Yeah, I thought it was good. It was one of those like joints for the chicks, and the beat was nice, and I think should have been a single. They were definitely trying to promote Cuban Link as a pretty boy.
Right,
So this is like one of those songs where you had like the for the radio and all that.
definitely. Alrighty. Track number 21, Cartel, featuring Don De Niro, Reyes Corleone, and Reef Hustle. Again, another pretty solid track right here. Don't dislike this track, but it's pretty decent.
I like the beat. There's just too many unknown cats on here. You know what I'm saying? It's like I don't know none of those dudes. I guess that's from Cuban Links crew, but nah, I don't think that would have fly, man. You gotta
Right,
put some cats on that people know.
exactly.
You know,
Track number 22, Why Me, featuring Fat Joe. I guess that's what he was asking Fat Joe, really.
right?
This one was pretty decent, you know. I didn't care too much for Fat Joe on this record, you know what I'm saying? But it was pretty decent.
I actually like it. I think it was they work well together. It's just a shame that they still beefing after all these years. And man. I like it. I thought it was a I thought it was a dope track. It's just it's a shame of like what happened, man. They niggas can't get along.
You know what's another petty beef? I was watching Art of Dialogue, and
Uh,
I think RBX was being interviewed, and he said that Suge Knight had a beef with him because RBX ate some of Suge Knight's wings or some shit like that.
what? He ate his raisins.
His chicken wings.
His chicken wings. You have a beef with a dude over chicken wings? Wow, that's
I'm gonna send you that interview.
what the fuck? I never heard that. That's
Oh my goodness. Oh my god. Yeah, he literally he was like, it was just some chicken wings.
wow.
This nigga Sugar Knight was throwing motherfuckers across the room over some chicken wings.
I had to some bomb ass chicken wings, yo. Shit. And
Oh shit.
we didn't have Wingstop back then, so what in the world? Oh man. Over the simplest shit they got beef over.
Chicken wing. Yo, chicken.
That's crazy.
Boy. Boy, I'm not even fucked up yet. I'm already down, yo. Yo. She's
Chicken
like,
wings.
I
The
just sent you
fuck?
the interview too.
Yo, that's crazy.
And speaking of
Wow.
Suge, I saw a DJ Quick interview where he talked about how Suge almost threw him across the.
Yeah, I saw that shit.
I was like, I don't
Oh
care how
man,
big you are, nigga. Nigga,
it
ain't no
was it
big nigga gonna
was
throw me across the room and shit. I don't give a
it
fuck if
was
you are
lit.
Suge
It
Knight.
was lit at Death Row back in the day. No wonder Dre had to leave. He couldn't get work done. You got niggas being thrown across the room, niggas being thrown off the balcony and shit. Dudes is mad because they stole they chicken wings. Like, yo, what the fuck? I don't know how Dre did it, man. Like, salute to Dre for crafting classic albums in the world of chaos around him.
What?
That's
Okay.
crazy.
I got about 10 more minutes left on the stream, so I gotta wrap this up here quick.
We done. Just the
Yeah,
wrap.
we're gonna. We all we missing is Flowers for the Dead and It's Okay.
Right.
But Flowers for the Dead is pretty much a big pun tribute and shit. It's probably the best known song on this unreleased album, if you
Yeah.
ask me and shit too. So
Facts.
next to the Tastry, whatever that one is was my favorite track.
I loved it. I love, and then he did a video for it, and it was real heartfelt, and salute to Cuban Link, like to go through that. How he was on Vlad talking about how like he got the call when he was taking a shower that Pun had passed away, and to
Yeah,
rush down and see his friend dead, and to go through all that, and then to like make a song like this for his friend. It was great, and I think he nailed it with this one, and it was real heartfelt. I love the beat for it, and just the whole video was real somber. Everybody was like dressed in white. He was on the beach. That video, they played that video a lot when that came out, and that really should have been the jumping off point for this album. Unfortunately, we know what happened, but I didn't see Fat Joe do a song for Pun. You know what I'm saying?
no, no.
He didn't do a song for Pun. Still to this day, he always praised Pun in all these interviews. Oh, bless God bless Pun, this and that. He's never done a tribute song for Pun on none of those shitty ass albums that he had in the 2000s. You know what I'm saying? And then like the whole beef he had with Liza and Pun's family. I don't like that. That's that he really showed his true colors after Pun died. And I think Cuban Link had like one of the best tribute songs ever. Like, right up there with Naughty by Nature, Morning Till They Join You for Pac, and um We'll Always Love Big Papa, and the Locks came out with that, and I'll Be Missing You, and Puff did that. This is one of the best tribute songs ever. And I think it's a classic record.
Definitely, definitely. Shout out to Lashia, by the way. I think she's watching the video and shit.
I told her she's
Yeah,
cracking up like us because this
yeah.
album is a lot.
She put the fucking laughing emoji and shit. Alright. And the last song is called "It's Okay." This was a diss track against Fat Joe and DJ K Slay and
K
shit
Slade.
too.
Yeah, beef with
Yeah,
K Slade.
yeah. I'm trying to look that shit up right now and shit. But
Rest in peace to K Slade. I didn't know you had beef with him. What
yeah,
was that
man.
about?
I have no idea. But at the same time, I'll post it. Oh, I think because he felt like K Slade blackballed him with Fat Joe and shit
Uh,
like that too. And I
Probably.
think
You never know.
yeah, he also had beef with DJ Khaled too. So from what I'm looking up here,
So,
so not surprised because he's not a real DJ and shit.
right? Oh my God.
He's as much as a DJ as Luke Skywalker and shit. Oh Lord. But as far as diss tracks go, this ain't no Vaseline, no ether, but I mean, it's no surprise. It's like you have him on your album, you diss him at the same time. It's no surprise and shit.
I never even heard that song. I don't even remember that song.
I'll send it to you after this
Yeah.
is done and shit. But overall, this album was all over the place. I feel like it was way too fucking long, too many fucking skits and shit
Yeah.
too, too many chick songs. It's surprisingly the songs with Angie Martinez and Ja Rule are like my favorite songs on the album and
I
shit
can't
too.
believe that. I
Yeah.
cannot believe that.
I mean,
Out
y'all,
of
y'all,
everybody, the song with Angie Martinez is your favorite.
no. Taste of Patriot.
Oh, Taylor
Wait.
Pastry is your favorite?
No. I'm
Okay.
tripping. Men of Business is my favorite. It's Men of Business,
Oh,
Taste of Pastry, Flowers for the Dead, and then Freak Out and shit too.
right.
So I just feel like it needed more versatility, if that makes sense.
Right.
So I'm gonna give this 2.5 out of 5. I don't give a fuck.
I think the first half of this album fell flat. I don't even think he should have started off the album with 90, was it 90 90 miles in swimming. I didn't like that song. Um he should have ended it with Flowers for the Dead or with the Mama song. Too many skits. I don't think the skits were needed. Um some of the tracks didn't age well. Like when you go back and you hear, this shit with him and Angie, and even the Ja Rule song, like this, you could tell this was Ja Rule in the Veni Vidi Vici era, but a lot of these tracks did not age well. You know what I'm saying? Or they just had a whack beat I didn't care for. To me, I think this the album was too long. It should have been cut to like maybe 12, 15 tracks. Way too long. I would to me the best songs on here was Toe to Toe Freestyle, Still Telling Lies, Flowers for the Dead, Men of Business, Cheat on Her, Hey Mama, Taste the Pastry, and Project Party. I think when you had those 8 songs, you could have added like maybe 3 or 4 more and just call it a day. I'm gonna give it 3 mics though. I think the second the tracks really start to get better toward the end of the album. You know what I'm saying? Like I did not like the first half of it. I felt like it got stronger towards the end. It's not a whack album. It's just a lot of the songs just sound outdated, and the album never came out, and it's a shame because I think Cuban Link is talented. He's a great MC, a very underrated, and he came from a legendary crew like the Terror Squad, and they just that whole deal with Atlantic just fell apart because of Fat Joe. You know what I'm saying? But he's still dropping music. He's still dropping albums. Like I said, he went on live stream last night, and he has beef with the the Terror Squad members now. So on top of Fat Joe, he has beef with the whole Terror Squad now. So they still beefing after all these years. I think it's a shame because what they did was great, and I think Pun is definitely not happy about what's going on with them. So at some point, I feel like they need to squash the beef. We're losing too many legends. We just lost Tina Turner last night, and it's time for them to squash that beef and come together. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
yeah, but if this album came out, I think it would have did a lot. It would have did good for Cuban, and it's a shame we didn't get it.
definitely. All right, so I'm just gonna end this video off right here because I'm about 3 minutes out. This was a very fun ass review. I ain't gonna hold you and shit. You know what I'm saying? Tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Yeah, you, me, Cavase. You want to
It
talk about
gets it gets
Raekwon,
better.
The Lex Diamond, Lex
Oh
Diamond
God,
story. So
a Wu
yeah,
Tang Cash review. Oh boy,
yep. I have to talk about all the stuff before A diagrams and shit like that. Cause after I talk about A
yeah.
diagrams, I'm gonna talk about only built for my
Build
Cuban
them
Links
up.
party.
Build them up for a diagrams.
Yeah, build it up, man. Build it
Yeah.
up. But if y'all can find this album on YouTube, make sure y'all listen to it. Appreciate this try as
Just
usual.
go to Cuban Link channel because he got it on you.
Right. Um, make sure you watch that chicken interview with RBX.
Oh my God, I can't believe that's a real thing.
Shit. Other than that, hope y'all have a good night.
All
Peace.
right, peace.